We are here with Josh again because a customer had ordered our drop-down tire carrier for his Humvee, and the outline of the, wait a minute, Josh, what are we doing? You just tell the guys.
All right, so basically on the truck the customer brought in, he's got some big ol' antenna mounts from the military on both sides of the truck. Now with our base model, I guess you could call it, option for the H1 drop-down tire carrier and a 40-inch spare, those do get in the way, not allowing this tire carrier to swing all the way open. So what we went ahead and did is centered that tire in the truck to give it a little bit of a cleaner look, that way it's not like a weird offset. So now it has plenty of room to swing all the way open, and in doing so we just extended our basic tire carrier and made a custom catch bracket while Paul models for me.
That's it.
So pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy, but still I think it looks really clean, and I think it's going to look great on the truck when it's all said and done.
Yeah, and keeping the function too. Yeah, this is DOM, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so we got this drop down, you pull the pin, or pull a pin here, rotate out, pull that pin, you drop it to the ground. Allow you to get that larger wheel. This is a black Rhino with 20-inch with a 40 wrapped around it. Great looking truck with this accessory bolted to the back. It's gonna be phenomenal. He uses the heck out of this thing. I know that strikes a nerve with you because you're a little rock crawler yourself.
Oh yeah. Yeah, now, like Paul mentioned real quick, this little tie rod, I guess you would call this, what would you call this?
Oh, drop rod.
A drop rod, I guess, is 1-inch quarter wall DOM. So this thing is plenty strong enough, so it will absolutely hold the weight of the tire.
Yeah, good point there. What I do like about it, our typical catch bracket, we should have one to show, it utilizes both the jerry can and tire carrier, but in this situation being custom, you dreamt up and fabricated that catch bracket there. I think you banged it out of the park. Looks really good.
I just wanted to keep a clean, simple look to it.
Yeah, very cool. Another thing, you guys have heard me many times touting our fab team, touting Josh. I like having that under our roof so we can make adjustments like this. So we have a chance to work and get the customer what he wants, even though he's bringing some complexity to our stock program. This is going to go out to our powder coat, Electrotech. Those guys will get the thing coated back to us promptly. Those guys have been killing it lately, as you see.
Absolutely.
So when that happens, we're going to pair up the factory one, our standard, which, well, how many inches did you add? 8 inches?
11 3/4.
11 3/4. 11 3/4 short on this is our factory one. So we'll get those two side by side and show you that install when we get this in there. Again, I think you guys are all gonna like that truck. Whether you love or hate the Humvees, this one looks pretty nice. Very cool.
Touch on a few of the differences between our base H1 drop-down tire carrier and the custom H1 drop-down tire carrier I made. Starting off with the pivot bracket, both of these carriers will use the same pivot bracket. This thing works great, no need to change it, so we're going to go ahead and maintain our base pivot bracket for that. Moving forward onto the catch bracket, over here this is our base catch bracket. You can see it's got the mounts for the tire carrier and our jerry can. Really, there's no need to have the jerry can mount because this tire carrier was extended. There is no more room for that. It's a little wider now. So I went ahead and made a little bit more of a sleeker design, something a little cleaner, that only has the one mount, just to keep things flowing real nice with the look of the truck. Moving forward onto our support arms, again, with lengthening the tire carrier, we did have to stretch this rod out a little bit. Both the same function, just one's a little larger than the others. And finally, moving on to the tire carriers themselves. As you can see, this tire carrier right here is about 11 inches wider than our base tire carrier. We went ahead and did that to go ahead and clear some antenna mounts that the customer has on the corner of his truck. With our base tire carrier, it is a little too narrow. The tire would wind up hitting it and not allowing it to open all the way. So I went ahead and stretched this, which will allow the tire carrier to swing all the way open, and you'll be able to open the rear door just fine. And like I mentioned, it's going to go ahead and center that tire in the back of the truck and give it a really clean finish. So as you can see, not too many differences, mostly just a size difference between the two. But coming up next, we're going to go ahead and mount this on the truck, that you guys can see the whole fit and finish and see how great it looks on the truck.
Now that we have the 2004 M998 in here, we can install that custom tire carrier I've been showing you throughout this episode. The application or the installation of this one was a little difficult because the airlift A1 bumper that was on this Humvee was not set up like the H1 bumpers are, that are already set up to accept a tire carrier as this model is here. So great fit and finish. As you see, Josh went into great detail on how he measured it, how he worked it out, centralizing this tire carrier between the two trouble spots, which were the two antenna mounts. You know, we do have, and I'll show you in some detail, a custom latch that we had to integrate in here, going away from our typical model, which is on this truck over here that you see. This truck is one that we'll highlight here in an upcoming episode. Phenomenal build, sneak peek here with this tire carrier. But this is our stock setup. Mounts to the H1 bumper without any flaws, just plug and play. The catch bracket is a dual purpose catch bracket. Also doubles as the catch bracket for our jerry can, fuel can carrier. Some people use that jerry can for other cargo. I've seen a barbecue on there. I've also seen like a small generator. So very multifaceted, functional, practical. Again, practical parts there. So very cool. As you see the two comparison, very similar part. Didn't want to get too far away from our stock, well-known look and finish here and function. It still has its full drop-down option here. Big 40-inch tire sitting back there, nice and stout, very stable. Let me go ahead and cycle it for you so you can see. You know, it's typical T-pin style setup. Swings out, giving you full access to the wagon back there. Now that we have this exposed, you can really see the uniqueness to this custom build. Again, not only was that carrier stretched, we had to utilize this system here, or this catch bracket here, very different than the dual sport style that we have over there, because it is just the one facet. It's in a unique location. It's still reachable and installable by around the back. We did eliminate any front hardware because a lot of the Humvees have this heavier plate to enhance the tow capabilities of it. So now this is, again, kind of a universal fit with a custom application. That is a wrap for this episode. Thanks for tuning in. I always enjoy sharing the custom fabrication that our in-house team knocks out. Those guys are stellar. And that combined with our A+ techs, it just works for a perfect combo for the units that we turn out. So please hit that subscription and notification. Come back at us. Look at these next episodes. They are going to be stellar. I don't like it. We're probably going to redo it.
That was it. That's the one. We're ending it with that.
Yeah.
Done.